They bridged the 9 o'clock hour with that, and then at 9:02 they gave us Jericho and Twinkle Toes against Mac Daddy and Cool Hand Luke, with old Hat Man Hager in the corner.
Yeah, they didn't even give us Anna Jay. Assholes.
And so obviously Jericho and Twinkle Toes won. And then here comes Don Fallis and the family. He's got Hobbs, he's got Take a Shit, he's got Cal Felcher. They're in the entranceway. He's doing a promo, and he challenged them. He said, "This can't be settled in the ring anymore. Let's take it to the streets." And he challenged them to a street fight match in a ring. But he said, "Let's have a street fight in Ontario, California." An Ontario street. I don't know my California geography like I should, maybe, Brian, but is Ontario, California? Is that a depressed area? Do they have like post-apocalyptic gangs roaming around, setting fires in the streets? Is it known for you can be beaten with chains and padlocks if you walk down a sidewalk?
Well, the West Coast in general right now is a hellhole, but I don't know about that versus other towns versus Louisville.
I thought it maybe in Ontario. I thought they were going to Toronto and have a Toronto street fight, and they could bring Tiger Jeet Singh down to referee. But so they're going to have an Ontario, California street fight. But now here's the deal: they've got Jericho and they got Harpo, right? His loving partner now. Well, there was Hobbs and Take a Shit and Felcher. So it should be 3-on-3, right? If Jericho and Twinkle Toes get a partner, and Twinkle Toes, that's when he did his breathless, straight out of Massengill playbook promo. And, well, we're going to bring someone to join with us, Kota Ibushi. But then Don said, "But you're still a man short." So is Don going to be part of the team? Is the manager wrestling? Is it 4-on-4 in this Ontario street fight? What does the California Commission or the California Highway Patrol or Eric Estrada have to say about this?
Is Ospreay still technically on Callis' team? He's out injured or he's just not there?
Well, maybe that's it. But we were left to ponder that.
No one has said it.
Face-off.
Yeah.
But Jericho says, nevertheless, we've got somebody else. And hey, you may think Hobbs is big, but he's not a giant. You called it. They brought out the Big Show, Paul Wight.
And his fake Big Show music.
But he came out to the stage and stood there, and Felcher ran into him, and he grabbed him and punched him, and then he stood and stared. And that was it. And Paul has had problems with his back and his hip, right?
Yeah. Well, they're really doing it, and he's not mobile. Yeah, that's the problem. That's one of the problems.
It looked like when he threw the punch, he was going to lose his balance. And he, again, great, huge name, no pun intended. Big star. Drew a ton of money, former main eventer, WrestleMania, whatever the case, but were the fan base burning to see this particular match, and what are they going to think when they see it? And I hope he don't get hurt. And secondly, how the fuck is it going to make Hobbs look if Hobbs has to bounce off of him? Hobbs is supposed to be the big guy. And Hobbs doesn't nearly have enough heat on him yet for them to bring in Andre the Giant as the special partner so that he's not the biggest guy. That only worked after the particular heel in question had waged a reign and campaign of terror for months upon a time, and nobody could stop him. Right? Then you bring in Andre the Giant. All right.
I mean, the other thing is, Again, it's another WWE guy. Yeah, I hate that that's like a thing around your neck. It shouldn't be. I mean, it's the bigger company. But AEW is losing to their fans everything that made them different. They're becoming more and more WWE-ized. That's why you're hearing more of their fans.
Well, but it's not like if LA Knight suddenly jumped. But Big Show was on top years ago and has been signed to this company and then became the Invisible Man.
Yeah, and he walked out there on Dynamite like Andre the Giant after his back surgery. So
yes.
I mean, that's why I'd be concerned too.
But that's what I'm saying is they haven't even, when they got Big Show, they didn't even continue to put him over or to feature him or to make sure people knew he was around or whatever. They just hit him on commentary on whatever show that he's been doing that doesn't make television. And then suddenly he pops up like, well, this is the answer to our prayers. We forgot he was there. That's what there's no continuity to anything. And again, it's not like a current top WWE attraction has jumped recently. It's a guy who was champion 15, 20 years ago. That's not the good perception. Anyway.
Well, that was certainly a big segment and a big show, and we could talk about a big box of awesome that would be better than this big show on this big network that we are watching.
Well, anything that comes out of a box is over, Brian. That's what somebody once said, who was a very wise man. And if you would like to get over with your family folks or your friends or your significant other or people in your social circle or the periphery of the space that you occupy as part of your daily life, that's everybody. Everybody loves a box of awesome from boxofawesome.com and Bespoke Post. And that's why you need to be jumping onto this thing, because we've talked about so many of the wonderful knickknacks and paddywhacks that they will send you pertaining to some of your biggest interests in life, whether you're a drunken slob and like cocktails all day long, or you like to grow things in the ground, or you like to eat food, carnivorous food, and you need spices and seasonings that can be rubbed onto roadkill and things of that nature.
What are you talking about?
Well, they got everything. That's what I'm telling you. You can cut people.
No, you cannot. That is not allowed, and that is not encouraged or endorsed.
You can cut people right out of your life with some of these things and not give them to them, or you can bring other people in. Camping gear essentials. Let's say you want to take somebody out in the woods and pitch a tent and cook in the wild and eat squirrels. They've got camping gear essentials. Cocktail upgrades. Let's say you want to get schlossed sometime. You want to just get gassed. Well, they've got a bourbon nosing kit that I received where you can just sniff all of the various things that are in the bourbon. And it came with the organic sourdough flatbread bites. That was a big hit in the house here. Or the barbecue sauces and rubs and seasonings. That's where I was talking about, rubbing down the meat. Let's say you go out with the camping gear essentials and you take the custom-made knives and you slay some of the woodland creatures and bring a bear back to barbecue. You got to dry rub that bear, don't you?
I don't even know where to start. Or
do you eat bear without any seasoning or dry rub?
I don't recall the last time or any time I've eaten bear. I couldn't bear it. Have you eaten bear?
Well, barely, but I'm telling you, no matter what you're interested in, all you do is you go to boxofawesome.com and you take the quiz and you tell them the things you're interested in, the things you collect, the things that you might traffic in, buy and sell, importing, exporting, whatever the case, things that you want in your home. And then they will send you a box every month across a ton of different categories, specifically applying to your interest, likes, and romantic fantasies. Each box is valued at around $70, but you only pay a fraction of that price. Now, if they catch you, you may get in trouble, but you'll probably be able to get away with this for a little while. And you're supporting the small businesses. 90% of everything that comes in your box of awesome is from a small, up and coming mom and pop brand or brother and sister brand or niece and nephew brand or aunt and uncle brand.
Just family would cover all of that.
Or close friends. And we don't know what you're doing behind closed doors, even if you're related. As long as you don't tell us that the DNA doesn't come back spoiled.
No, we care and don't do anything that is wrong and only do what is right with right people. And that's what we're talking about here. And we're talking about
small brands is what I was talking about.
Well, we want to help the small brands with the right people who produce the right products for a good audience.
Hey, who are you to judge these people? Let's say, and they didn't know they were cousins. But nevertheless, it's all small businesses that are being helped by the folks at Bespoke Post that get these things and then they pass the savings on to you. They strong arm them right out of the hands of the small businesses, mom and pop. And they pay them, but they get a lot of exposure. Mom and pop do, and
they work hand in hand with mom and pop, and it is a wonderful, mutually beneficial partnership.
Mom and pop's hands are sometimes tied behind their back in a situation like this.
No, they're not.
But nevertheless, well, you don't know what mom wants to do to pop or vice versa. It's their lives.
Well, that's true. Whatever they do is their own business.
See, I got you to admit it. But everything, folks, that comes in your box of awesome is going to be a treat that you will enjoy and think about forever. And all you got to do right now to get 20% off of your first monthly box is go to boxofawesome.com and enter the code JCE at checkout. 20% off your first box, boxofawesome.com. The code is JCE, 20%. How can you beat that? That is literally 2/10 off right there off the top. 4/5, no, not 4/5, but wait a minute, it's, hold on now, 20% is 1/5.
Coming to AEW, the accountant, Jim Cornette.
It's 4/20 off. 4/20.
It's always 420 somewhere, but one more time, what's that promo code, Jim?
Boxofawesome.com. Enter the code JCE at checkout for your box of small mothers and fathers life savings.
Awesome products
that they've trusted somebody else with, and they've sold them out from under them.
Awesome products. I'm going to open my next one on the air when they send it to me. So send it to me.
That's true. I've been meaning for you to do that because we need to hear about this.
Box of Awesome. That's right. But back to Dynamite.
Oh, we're still there, aren't we?